Hey, we're live from 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is a STSPOD.club production, and I had Brad Skimahorn on before. Now I've got his brother, Briar. We're going to do conversations because he kind of gave us your background as a tag team and all that. So we're just going to talk about you for 20 minutes. How's it going today?
Pretty good. How about you?
Doing good, doing good. We're going to start out. I'm going to start out with you growing up as a fan. What do you remember most about the first days as a fan, or the first year as a fan?
It was the late '90s, so it was like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was the man, especially growing up in Arkansas. You know, I remember the first time I ever saw wrestling. It was Billy Gunn and Ken Shamrock. And I saw Billy Gunn had Mr. Ass on his tights, and they were calling him Mr. Ass, and that was just crazy to me. I was like, "What? Who is this guy?"
Yeah, who Mr. Ass? Who are they calling Mr. Ass? Now, you guys are from Hoxie, Arkansas. We brothers grew up in Hoxie, really small town in Arkansas. I grew up in a small town in Missouri. Were y'all Memphis wrestling fans also, or was that something that you knew about?
I knew about it, but didn't come on TV. The only wrestling we really watched until we got in the business was WWE, TNA, but like only stuff that was on like mainstream TV.
Yeah, that just amazes me every time that I talk to, especially younger guys. I mean, I'll be 55 this year, so I'm an old fart, and I grew up on Memphis wrestling. But it amazes me, like living in this area and really not knowing what the hell Memphis wrestling was until after you got into business and like, hey, what's Memphis wrestling? And so with your exposure to WWE, I guess Jerry Lawler and all those guys were WWE guys to you, right?
Yeah.
Being a big deal, not really locally, but being a big deal because they were on WWE TV.
Yeah.
So you started by yourself, didn't you? Your brother wasn't with you.
No, we started together.
Oh, y'all started together. You are older than him though, right?
Yep.
And where did you train at? Who trained you? Who trained you guys?
We were trained by a guy named Boss and Austin Lane and Craig Stone and Jonathan Sanders.
And what do you think? I mean, with just doing the moves and stuff, and I know I always try to grab this question from guys. You knew how to do the moves, but when did you think that you started really? Now, how long have you been a wrestler?
8 years.
8 years. When do you think that you actually understood how to put together tag team matches like that?
I don't know if I still got it down, honestly, but
I had a meeting one time. We had a tryout with ECW. My two teams did on the 2 nights before ECW died, by the way. In Nova, Supernova, he actually said it takes about 6 years to understand psychology and what you can do. And there's all kinds of teams. And we had y'all guys in for a Cool Kids Countdown, and we talked about y'all's favorite teams. But what teams do you think you find yourself watching all the time to pick up moves?
I still watch the Motor City Machine Guns and Paul London and Brian Kendrick. I watched the Midnight Express for some heel stuff. I do watch some Edge and Christian for some heel stuff too. Some of that goofy comedy stuff that they do.
Right, right.
I just watch wrestling.
That's it. If you're actually in the business, unfortunately it's more of a study thing than being a fan. Recently, I just sat back and said, I'm not studying it. I'm just going to watch a pay-per-view. I watched the last AEW pay-per-view just as a fan. It's kind of fun, You decide you don't want to talk about should they have came in and that. What should they do? Do you see you guys are doing a lot of independent shows and all over the United States and Illinois and Tennessee and Arkansas? Do you see because it's changed? There is a hybrid way of wrestling now, and it's because mainly it's the Young Bucks, it's Phoenix, it's all those guys that give you. It's not New Japan. It's not Lucha Libre. but it's kind of a hybrid of that. Plus, there is that American style. Are y'all seeing that more as a team? Like guys are wanting to do just. Here's what I used to call it. Are guys wanting to get their shit in all the time, and they don't want to do psychology? Do they just want to get their shit in?
Yeah, for sure.
Really, you seeing more of that where there's not a hot tag, or there's not a heat in the actual match. It's just let's do move, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's like, oh man, you think that's enough? I'm like, yeah, man. Like we got what we need. You don't need to stray too far. What it is, you know what I mean?
Right. I wonder about that because there is a structure, and although there is a hybrid, I like the structure. I like the idea of the babyface taking. If you want to do double heat, the posse was so good at doing double heat for the longest.
You can do that stuff.
Yeah. And the fans love it. I mean, you guys as heels get to beat the hell out of both the members. Mm-hmm. Before the hot tag, so that puts y'all over. It really doesn't matter who's going to win in the end because everybody remembers y'all whipping their ass and them finally getting the win. Have you seen we had? Did you feel like when you first did television, did you guys and you could see the first 6 weeks, everybody, not just you guys, but everyone has never done TV. There's kind of like that deer in the headlights thing. I want you to kind of explain. It is so much different doing a TV match than an arena match.
Mm-hmm. So it was kind of weird because it's just different. You got to stick to your times because that's how the show's programmed. Like you can't go over because that takes away from other people or a commercial or something. And you got to be able to like know where your cameras are. You got to work for the cameras, not for the crowd. So like sometimes it's kind of weird when you're like facing the stage and there's no crowd, but that's where the camera is, and you're going for the people at home because the people here will follow anyways.
I mean, that's the kind of things we did television in Mississippi, and it was like, as a manager, keep looking at the camera. So have you been backstage and got to ask you for going overtime yet?
No, they've been pretty understanding. And if they need to, they just edit a little bit of it, edit an entrance or something. And I don't think we go like too far over or under where it like really is a problem. Like, I don't think we go a minute over or nothing.
Yeah, I talked to Brad about this too. You guys being such a solid tag team in I guess the best way, legit in the sense that y'all understand what's going on. You can put people over or you can beat the hell out of them kind of thing. Put yourself. So, you understand that part. Was that one of those things where you said, especially with the comedy you guys did, was that something you planned, or was it just all of a sudden it was organic? Y'all could do comedy now.
That's just kind of how it happened. Like, it is kind of comedy, but we kind of try to do it like we're serious about it. Like, if you watch Macho Man, his stuff was comedy, but like it was serious to him. Like, he wasn't like making a joke. You know what I mean?
I think that's the part that makes it so fun when y'all grab the microphone and start talking on the microphone during a match, is that your characters, or you guys believe everything you're saying while the audience is saying, wait, that's not the way I'm looking at this, which brings the comedy out. Just really fun. And it wasn't something, because some people will tell you, the Skimahorn t-shirt, some guys in the business say, look, I didn't want to do anything like that. Was that something that you just say, hey, that's fun, let's do it?
Yeah, I didn't care. Like, it gives us something to work with, Like,
get you over. Yeah. What about Mikey? How did we bring Mikey along with the whole tag team? Tell the Mikey story.
Okay. Well, we were supposed to have a dad come in.
Okay.
But he overslept that day, so he didn't get brought in. And they're like, does Mikey want to be a Skimahorn? And he was like, no. Can I be Uncle Mikey instead of Mikey Skimahorn? And they're like, yeah, that's great. So He's Uncle Mike.
Yeah, just fantastic talent. A lot of comedy there, but he is so good in the ring too. Just move by move. So solid. And you guys have met him, I guess, in Illinois with Pondo, right? Because the funny thing is, he joined y'all, and the same week he joined y'all, I seen a poster on Brad's. It had y'all in a dog collar match or something. I can't remember, against him and somebody else.
Yeah. Well, we met Mikey in Illinois at a outlaw wrestling show. Otto Bain took us down there. It was for working for the Hooligans.
Right. I know all those guys. Yeah.
And Mikey was there, and then they came to work for Craig a couple times, and they offered us to ride with them, but we didn't take it back then. And we went to do another outlaw show a couple years ago with Deadly Dale, and we stopped and picked up Mikey. And then he was like, y'all can still ride with me if y'all want to. And we were like, all right, we'll do it. And then been balls to the wall ever since.
When you say, you just talked about outlaw, there's a lot of smaller shows in the area, whether you go to Tennessee, whether you go to Arkansas, in Missouri also. Not as many in Missouri because of the commission and stuff. But Arkansas and Tennessee both seem to, and I'm going to say some shit. You don't have to agree with me, all right? But you get so much shit on some of those shows, and there's no one knows how to really wrestle. No one understands psychology, and they're just, somebody put up a ring and they had a show and there's 20 people. How do you get up for stuff like that? Do you I'm going to tell you what I did. I took my team and I took another team to work them. I wasn't going to have them work people that didn't know what they were doing.
Well, we were lucky because they have some good guys around here that can teach young people how to work, and they just stuck us with them. We didn't have to work the people that didn't know how to work or that would hurt us. We worked with Otto Bain and Vic Vicious and Austin Lane and Ray, and we worked with those guys, so they just taught us how to work.
Well, they're all shit workers. How do they teach you? No, I'm just kidding. Those are my friends there. Otto Bain is has always been a favorite of mine, and he doesn't wrestle anymore, I would guess, and things like that. And with Austin Lane helping you guys, Austin can put together a match. That's the fun part of it. Plus do all the high spots and everything. He's always been a fan of the X division and doing high spots and stuff. So tell me about being on television. Have you seen, and I've seen some complaints on various, didn't see anything on your Facebook page, let me say that, but I've seen some guys in the area going, well, we're working for free, we're tired of work, we're worth more than this. Do you understand the value of being on television like that? Do you guys understand that?
Yeah, for sure. Getting paid, you want to get paid, but you're getting exposure on the TV, and then you get paid for house shows. And then, we've traveled farther to just get a shot and not get paid. You know what I mean? We went to Chicago and wrestled for free, just try to get a shot. That's what it is. You're not going to make real money unless you're a top dog in the business. You know what I mean?
That's a good way of looking at it, especially when and I've always felt like television meant a lot in this area. And it's CW30 is the highest rated CW station in the United States. Have you been anywhere outside the area where they go, hey, y'all, we seen y'all on Memphis Wrestling?
No, but I try to avoid people.
Yeah, see, I loved it. I loved it when they came up. Dyersburg Mall always had somebody come up and say, hey, are you Coach BT? And I'd be like, yeah. Autograph, whatever.
People come up to me and they'll be like, hey, are you Briar Skimahorn? I'm like, no, my name's Larry. I'm sorry.
And Larry. All right, guys, remember that. He's Larry at the mall. So there you go. So tell me, Dustin, me and Dustin have been friends for a long time, and I've become the content provider for a lot of stuff on Memphis, and in rolling into Memphis every week. I don't show any favorites because that's not what you do, and Dustin doesn't expect me to do that. How's it working for Dustin Starr? Is he really an asshole like I know he is? No, I'm just kidding. Is it been a good experience in working there on TV with Dustin?
Yeah, for sure. He's always been kind to us. Even when we first started, he was always good to us. He's never done us wrong. He's never like done anything shady to us. I don't have anything to complain about him. I think he's a good guy.
Right on. Good to hear. And that's really, I know people are listening to this, and you just said he's never done any shady. If you've never been in the business, you don't really understand what he's saying. But work for somebody and don't be promised a certain amount of money, and then you don't get paid zero. So
he's always been straight up. When we messaged him about coming down, he was like, I mean, there's no pay in it. And we were like, I mean, that's cool. Like, I mean, he was straight up. He didn't string us along like, yeah, we can get you a little something or nothing. He was like, you know, this is the deal.
All right. Good to hear about Dustin. Here's my last question, kind of wrap it up with the 20-minute conversation with you. Like I said, we covered a lot of stuff with Brad. What I want to know is, and I asked him about this, you guys have worked on a lot of shows in the area. 8 years, that's a lot of time of working. Was there anybody, you know, quote unquote superstar, a big name that was just a total ass?
I mean, there's been a few. He told you the Lawler story. Bill Dundee one time, or I guess it was the same night. He walked into the locker room and he just looked around. He goes, "No wonder you don't draw a fucking dime." Like, okay.
That's Bill. He did that in every dressing room he was ever in. He used to. I was a photographer, and I'd go backstage, and I also he knew I was the kayfabe guy. So he gave me hell during the whole time. This kayfabe guy ain't supposed to be backstage, blah 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 blah. And when he left, he would come over to me and he would say, "Brian Tramel, I'll see you next time." And I'd be like, wait, can you just be nice to me because he was the one in the back all the time going, "What's Tramel doing? Why's he here?" And I would walk out, go talk to Lawler or talk to Jeff Jarrett or talk to somebody else. And he's constantly, every time I've seen him, I think the last probably 4 or 5 years that I've been at shows, he's actually shook my hand and doesn't give me hell or anything. He even said on the podcast he used to hate Brian Tramel. So there you go. But Bill is like that. Lawler's, yeah, I've even had people tell me these days that Lawler still don't demand, but he don't hang out with the boys. And I've only seen him do that one time, and it was at Tuckerman, and it was him, Dundee, and Brandon Baxter were sitting together talking with the boys, and I was just like, I should have took a picture of that because that's the first time I'd ever seen Lawler do that. All right, we have a few more minutes. So you tell me a Tuckerman story, ASWF.
An ASWF story? Okay. Well, one time we were working at ASWF, and we had a TLC match, and then we were going to try to do the table spot like the Hardys and the Dudleys, where they had the 2 tables set up, and they pushed us off the ladder. And
right.
Table on the outside. Well, it wasn't like a double-sided ladder, so I didn't get up high enough because it was just like, you know, and Brad was up higher. So when they pushed it, I didn't make it out the ring, and I just like landed on the ropes, and Brad just like scorpion out through the table, it looked like. He almost died.
I was okay though.
I've been to a lot of I actually got lost going to Tuckerman one time. I hate to admit that, but I did. I got lost. I was coming from Steele, Missouri, and couldn't find Tuckerman for some reason. So, all right, guys, thank you for joining us for Conversations. I thank y'all. This was, we did this whole thing, STSPOD Skim-tember. We do appreciate it. Guys, same bad time, same bad channel on the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there. And as everyone knows, I love my mama. Thanks, man.
Thank
Shit,
you.
I wish